I... Whew. I bet you're wondering why we're standing in the mouth of some sort of cavern, right next to the carcass of what was once a particularly ill-tempered hydra. Well, that'll be because we believe this leads us to the Lost Library of the Lich Tarchamus, where the Queen of Cormyr, Queen Rhaedra Oberskir, hopes to find her missing fiancé, Oberyn Crownsilver. Or at least his remains. That said, we're playing along a little tentatively for now. See, something stinks. We've noticed her withholding certain things. Not too long ago, we were even approached by a rather buff meathead of a fellow whom Silshard seemed to like the look of. That meathead gave us a warning. Apparently the queen over there might actually have sent Oberyn to his death herself, in the name of acquiring the power of the library. And, well, we've also heard that the soul of Tarchamus himself is supposedly in a manuscript down in that damnable library. It's some suspicious shit. Oh, and to make matters worse, apparently we've got ourselves into around 100,000 gold's worth of owed tax. Our friend Cecile Dubois volunteered to go back to the cafe and sort that out for us. I wonder if that painting of the fallen Aasimar with the big sword, the one we're hiding for Jarl Axel, would sell for enough to handle that. Or maybe that silver cuckoo clock. Regardless, we've got some work to do. Are you alright, Dan?
Not gonna lie, I'd forgotten about the debt.
If
I haven't forgotten about that.
If you wouldn't mind just role-playing amongst yourselves for a little bit, because my microphone has fallen off its stand.
I see. So, I thought you were having a little close to me.
So I'll be right back.
Okay. Right, well...
As a high-level wizard, you need a lot of dice ready.
Yeah. Okay, so... Assuming we're about to go into this, it's a pretty big-looking cavern, right?
Yeah.
Or at least we don't know where it goes, assuming it takes us to the library. What's the plan when we get to the library? We probably need to keep quite a close eye on Queen Rhaedra, and probably all of the adventurers she's brought with her, that aren't us.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine that if this library is made by a lich, there'll be a number of traps that are probably like instant death traps that conveniently we all won't fall into, but they will.
Well, I mean, we've all been to places like that. I can only imagine that this Tarchamus individual would probably leave plenty of things to protect the place. I am getting unfortunate flashbacks of a certain temple in a certain place we may have been to.
Oh god, don't remind me.
Is that the temple I have been with you, or my brother?
Your brother.
Ah.
Don't worry about it too much, it's the whole thing, but safe to say I think that this place will be defended by something, or traps at least.
You say defended by something. I gesture to the corpse of the Hydra in front of us.
Big Scaly Boy did a okay job at protecting it, I guess.
Okay job at it. Hal's gonna gesture to the fact that some of his like clothing is actually burnt away, these sleeves are all messed up. I'm on approximately 25 out of, if you were to put it on a scale, 25 out of 108 completely non-specific hit points, if you were. That Hydra did a pretty good job of nearly killing me.
We do always have such specific scales for how, injured we are.
It's crazy, right? We just come up with this out of nowhere.
It's like I'd rate myself on a scale of 1 to 122, but I would rate, you at a scale of 1 to 108. And, I'm not that much physically fitter than you. I mean, I can run further, but that's mostly because I don't need to breathe.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that to do with the fact that you don't need to breathe, Alec.
Yeah.
So
breathing's overrated. That's all I'm saying.
You would say that.
Speaking of things that are overrated, this mic stand. Was
Wow. Okay.
but it's now there. As long as I don't move, we're fine.
Are you holding it?
No, I'm not holding it, fortunately. But
Due to next session when there's just elastic bands coming in from all angles.
I mean, my camera is like duct taped, so let's proceed. Unfortunately, of the 20 adventurers that were brought, only 18 remain, as 2 of them had been killed by the Hydra.
Which 2 was it? Did we recognise them all?
It was 2 that you've not interacted with yet. Well,
Cool.
You never will now, but
Well, not cool. Not the fact that they're dead is cool, but you know.
And now I cast Cure. I'll wait.
okay.
I'll wait. I'm going to stand nearby to howl, though.
All right.
I'll notice Génie kind of like gravitating near Hal, and Hal will kind of look at Génie and be like, it's probably fine, though I could do with maybe a shorter rest if possible. How are the rest of like Queen Rager's troops looking?
Some of them are wounded, some of them are injured, but with the exception of the 2 that are dead, most of them seem fighting fit. They're not as wounded as you are, because you took the brunt of most of that acid.
Okay. Howl's going to call out across the sort of remains of this Hydra to Queen Rager and say, would you mind if we took a moment just so I can catch my breath again? Also, if any of your people have mending, the ability to mend, I could really do with some of my clothes being fixed. That acid really did a number on me.
I can do mending if you wish.
Out of character. Mending's like a cantrip, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. In that case, then, yeah, Hal will turn to Génie and say, yes, please, I feel a little humiliated, given that, you know, Hal's like clothes are in like tatters.
The Queen will say that, she says, yes, I can see the merit in us taking a little rest here. Perhaps, however, we could send a few scouts forward into the cave to see what they can find, whilst those of you who need the rest can take it.
I'm gonna raise an eyebrow at that suggestion and say to Queen Rager, right, but do you have people here who are, appropriate for scouting? I would rather not you send people ahead only for them to die and not come back.
My adventurers are sufficiently skilled for scouting, and they know not to engage in something that would leave them outmatched.
Hal will shrug and say, fair enough, they'll follow your orders. I'll be ready to go again in maybe, half hour, 40 minutes. Just, I need a minute to get myself back together again.
Just out of character. Oh no, that might have been... Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. I will DM it.
Okay. If you want to take a short rest, you may. And during that time, 5 of the adventurers will go into the cave and will return about 45 minutes into your hour-long rest.
Nice. I'm gonna do... Let's try that. Let's try this maybe.
While we're taking the rest, I'm going to sort of pull out my spell book, or pull out the notebook I've been working on the new spell in, and sort of try and get some work done on that, because I'm not actually injured, so...
Mm-hmm. Alright, make an Arcana check.
Let's see, is this dice going to betray me? 18.
18. Okay. So you're currently working... What do you know about that spell already?
Excellent question. I've written it down, not in this notebook. If anyone else has anything... Did I actually write it down?
So this spell is you've done several.
A 1 minute casting time.
Yep.
And I believe it had a duration of 10 minutes if I'm like concentration.
With concentration,
10 minutes.
yes.
And I think that's the only 3 pieces I know.
Yeah. So with this now, I can give you the following information. It is a 4th level spell with a casting time of 1 minute. It has a range of touch, verbal and somatic components, a concentration duration of up to 10 minutes. It is a divination spell requiring a wisdom save.
I suggest it's not a healing spell.
So those are that's the information you have for this spell so far. The adventurers that have ventured into the cave come out and say that about 100 feet into the cave system, there are two iron doors, about 30 feet high, 15 feet wide each, that are closed and appear to be locked by a spell. This spell is a magic mouth spell that is uttering the same, whenever they get within 30 feet of it, is uttering a riddle. And they assume that once the riddle is answered, the doors will open.
What is this riddle? You do not know the answer to?
They say, I have lots to say, but never speak. I open, but you cannot walk through me. I have a spine, but no bones.
Sounds like a book, no?
Could you repeat it again?
I have lots to say, but never speak. I open, but you cannot walk through me. I have a spine, but no bones.
The answer's a book, right?
I think so. I mean, they have a lot of words in them. You can read a lot of them. You can open a book, and obviously the back bit. You know where it opens, the back bit, that is the spine of the book.
Hal's gonna call that out to all the rest of the group, so all of Queen Rager's people and Queen Rager, of course, and say, so that's the riddle. Does anybody have any argument with the answer being a book?
All of them slowly shake their head and say, one of them says, no, it's pretty obvious.
Do you not think it is perhaps too obvious for a library?
See, that's what I'm thinking. It's a library that was once owned by a presumably quite powerful lich. It could also be that they didn't anticipate many people getting past the Hydra.
Raedra says to you, yes, but one must also remember that villains like to be discovered, and locking adventurers out of a library entirely would have prevented Tarchamus from ever acquiring new subjects, shall we say.
How pleasant.
Shall we venture in?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Have we completed our rest?
Yes.
I am all good. Well, I say all good. Mostly good.
You venture into the cave, about 100 feet through this cave system, which is hewn into the rock. It's a mixture of natural caves and passages that have been carved through the rock to adjoin the cave systems. Where those caves would have stretched off and gone elsewhere, they have been caved in. There are rock slides and mudslides, such that there is just one slightly winding but more or less straight path that takes you to these iron doors, these wrought iron doors, 30 feet high, 15 feet per door. When you get within 30 feet, as the adventurers described, these words are audible out loud around you.
Just the same riddle over and over.
Just that riddle on loop.
Okay.
I should not say the answer in case my accent is confusing.
Well, I think we should all just hold off a moment before we say the answer. I assume it will open the moment it hears the right thing. Is everyone ready for what might come next? And in particular, Hal's going to turn to Queen Raedra and say, you obviously know that Orbrin supposedly went here before. I don't suppose you had any correspondence with Orbrin or know anything about what we might see when we go through here?
The last I heard of him, she says, was the night that he left.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
I know that he was seen in this area, but I can't... Well, I can't say that anything was ever heard from him thereafter.
Just before we go through, are you know, do you have any talent with magic at all, Queen Raedra? I am going somewhere with this.
I know a few spells, but my speciality is more sword-based.
Did you ever try scrying on Orbrin?
I'm not powerful enough to scry, and whenever I employed some of my court magicians to scry, they were never able to, which is what makes me think that we will likely find his remains.
Right, fair enough.
Or perhaps that this place is simply unscryable.
That's a point, actually. Hal's gonna sort of address everyone and say, does anybody get the sense of any kind of other magical protections on this, other than just the magic mouth? Hal will instinctively look towards Alec for that, though.
I mean, I could just cast Detect Magic.
I mean, you have True Sight, right? Do you see anything else going on with it, or...?
Well, can I see any illusions?
You do not see any illusions. Well, although to be fair, given that you only have True Sight, you wouldn't know what the illusions are. So just pointing that out. Everything seems normal to you. You don't see anything that is obviously a trap.
You don't see anything different to everyone else.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what we're seeing.
My entire vision is just black and white. It would be purple and orange.
The Queen says, shall we?
Yeah, why not?
Book, she says. There is a grinding of hinges as and a slight vibration in the passage as these doors swing away from you, opening into the passageway beyond. When the doors open, you see that the passageway beyond is illuminated. It is a rectangular prism, I suppose, a rectangular prism passageway of a yellowish sandstone. It is carved sandstone into bricks, and it is illuminated by two parallel veins of sapphire and emerald light that is being emitted from on the carved onto the side walls, a line of sapphires and a line of emeralds, each emitting light in the colour of that particular gem, and that provides enough light for you to see by. This is you can see as though you're in bright light. That passageway seems to extend for about 30 or 40 feet before it opens onto what looks like a balcony. You can see the top of a balcony rail ahead, and in the far distance you can spy what looks like bookshelves.
It's a long corridor, right?
30 or 40 feet, it's not that long.
I might be tempted to suggest we check this corridor, and probably most corridors going forward. I feel as if this is begging to be some sort of a trap.
Raedra will motion to two of her rogues who step forward and begin examining for traps. After a few moments, one of them says, "Yep, the entire corridor is booby-trapped."
Great.
Amazing.
Shocked Pikachu face.
Because why wouldn't it be entirely trapped?
The rogue says, "It looks like pretty much all of this ground are pressure plates. I've no idea what will happen when we step on one, but something bad will happen. There's no way for us to necessarily disarm them without taking up parts of the floor."
I mean, we could, I don't know, throw something down the corridor, something heavy enough to trigger the pressure plates and find out.
I pull out
Are you
a
volunteering?
baguette.
No, I'm not volunteering, Alec.
You pull out a
I
baguette.
pull out a baguette. It's like, you can give this a go, and I'll toss it down
Okay.
the middle of the corridor.
Make
10 feet.
so it lands on one of the tiles 10 feet away, and is immediately incinerated by a jet of fire that comes down from the ceiling. All that's left is blackened, charred charcoal.
I pull out another baguette,
Oh, wow.
and I do the same thing.
Onto the same square, or
I would around it.
all right, you throw it. It lands on a different tile, and the tile just disappears.
Does it return?
No.
Ah,
Now
Wow.
remember, in Latin, Jehovah's is spelt with an I.
what?
It's a reference to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Ignore the fact that why is the lettering in English?
Yeah, alright.
Really taking you all out the fiction there.
I lost me on that one.
Deadass got really confused. I was like,
If any of you would like to make an intelligence check to see what you can discern about this passageway, you may.
I would certainly like to. Just flat intelligence.
Yeah.
can I be cheeky and argue advantage because I'm a rogue?
Yes.
Nice.
I got a 14.
I
Okay.
was really hoping that Tony was just going to say, "Can I argue advantage because I'm Oriana?" Which would have
I mean,
completely
that-
So
failed.
a 14 from Génie, Oriana,
18.
18, Alec,
21.
and Howl.
11.
Okay, between you, you can see that this 30-foot corridor is 10 feet wide, which means that there are these tiles that are 5 foot square that make up. So there are. Brain's just gone blank.
Oh.
12 tiles.
6.
There are 12 tiles. 11 now that one of them has completely disappeared. Oriana, you reckon that all of these tiles are trapped in some way. Alec, you can tell that some of them are trapped magically, but most of them are trapped mundanely. You would need to, Oriana, if you wanted to try to disarm one, you would need to be stood on the tile adjacent to the one you wanted to disarm, thereby triggering whatever it is that you are, whatever tile you are standing on.
Unless it was already disarmed.
However, Oriana, you also have winged boots.
Is there a lever or anything at the other end that says off?
Not that you can see
What?
from here.
It's quite well lit, right? Like it's bright,
Yeah.
we can see everything.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I can go ahead and start disarming them. It may take some time, but I can do it.
I mean, I'd prefer that than, attempting to not get burnt to what is now a very, very toasty looking baguette.
Okay,
I can disarm the mundane ones, but not the magical ones, I don't think.
Oriana, if you could make for me, please. Well, so how do you want to do this? How do you want to disarm these traps? What does it look like?
So, because you wouldn't really have that great stability using the winged boots, standing just outside the corridor, could she crouch near one and disarm that one so that she has a disarmed one to stand on to carry on doing the rest?
Yes, make for me, please, a Dexterity Thieves' Tools check.
Let's go. is a 26.
You believe that you have successfully disarmed the trap.
Hey, Genie, can I borrow a baguette?
Oui? Yeah, here you go.
I'll test my skill set.
Alright,
Drop it on it.
nothing interesting happens.
Amazing. Next.
Does anything uninteresting happen?
No.
While we're here, Genie, can I borrow a baguette?
Yes. I do not think you had to eat.
I take. I don't have to, but I want to.
Would you like some garlic butter with that?
Yes, please. Also,
Not eat.
I said borrow, but I assume you don't want this back.
No. It is okay.
Okay, Oriana, make for me, please, another Thieves' Tools check, and this will be the average of you attempting to disarm most of the passageway.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Same again, 26.
Okay.
Nice.
You were successfully able to disarm the majority of these tiles, such that only 2 tiles remain trapped, and these are trapped magically, including the one that breathes fire when you stand on it. You, however, have disarmed it in such a way that people are able to pass through and up the corridor without being immolated, stabbed, shot, poisoned, immolated, eviscerated, annihilated, desiccated, transmutated, everything else that these traps could have done.
What a lovely corridor.
Amazing.
I wonder if they got all this at, IKEA.
There was a bolt of traps.
Fantasy
Buy
IKEA.
one, get one free.
They must have bought all of this at QM3.
The ancient Netherese super shop. The other side of the passage does indeed open out onto a balcony. You are in a large square room that must be about 100 feet by 100 feet. This balcony that extends about 15 feet out, you are overlooking essentially floating bookcases. These bookcases are about 20 feet high, and there are about 6 or 7 columns of them. And these columns of floating bookcases that just stretch up and down as far as the eye can see occupy the space in the middle that this balcony surrounds, the void that's in the middle of the room. There are doors leading off this balcony all the way around, archways, and all of it is illuminated by these 2 glowing strips of sapphires and emeralds that are embedded into the wall.
So does the balcony, go all the way around?
Yeah, the balcony squares the room.
Okay. Well, I'm at least thankful that we don't have to jump across the tops of these floating bookcases, because that would have been
A pretty cool jumping
exhilarating.
puzzle, says
It would have
Silshard.
It would have been a little too exhilarating for, frankly, my blood pressure right now. So, perhaps for the best.
And let us not forget that some of us, it is easier to jump distance than it is others, and I look at my short legs.
It's fine,
I'm
I can
sure
summon
you'll be
Hugo,
fine.
you'll be fine.
I do miss that.
The Queen says, "Well, so far, Oriana, you're living up to your magnificent reputation as a master rogue."
Oh, I wouldn't say master, but
No, I definitely would.
it's appreciated.
One of the the adventurers, the 18 adventurers that are kind of filing into this room, all kind of look at you, Oriana, and are beaming and say, "You're brilliant." Says one of them. It's like, we'd never have been the 2 rogues that investigated it. Said we didn't know how to disarm them without taking the floor up. You're amazing.
I can show you a few tricks later.
Yeah, please. You get the sense again of just how well known you all are, how impressive your reputation is, and the high regard in which everybody here seems to hold you.
If at any point Hal catches any of the other adventurers, looking at him in the same sort of admiring way, Hal will do his best to look away and kind of grimace, mostly out of embarrassment.
Yep. Silshard leans into you and says, I recognise the look that they're giving us.
Right, and what look would that be?
Hero worship.
Yeah, well, I feel as if some of us are maybe more deserving of that than others. I don't like the attention much. Any idea which way we should go? There are a few different exits, I assume.
There are many doors carved into the wall, and archways that lead off to other passages. You think that, looking around, you think that this is the only level of the library, because this void that stretches both up and down with all of the floating, the columns of floating bookshelves, cylindrical bookshelves, there doesn't seem to be any lower or higher balconies. So you can be reasonably certain that you presently have access to most, if not all, of the library's areas.
Okay. Can we?
Where we're standing, can I read the spine on one of the books?
Not from this distance, no.
Damn.
The closest bookshelf is about 15 feet away from the edge of the balcony, so if you got right up close to the edge of the balcony and squinted, you might be able to.
I'm gonna sort of approach the edge of the balcony, check to see if it's stable, and then sort of lean out.
Yep.
Can I read? I want to see if there's a sorting system to the books here, or if they're just randomly.
Do they use the Dewey Decimal System?
The first one that you see is called it looks like it is a history of smithing. It's called Blacksmiths Without Time.
Interesting.
The next just scanning around, the next one you see is a book about is a book about agriculture called Effect of the Land.
I wonder if they've got any of Van Richten's various publishings in here, but
Well, probably not in this shelf and/or section. This seems to be non-fiction. Wait, no, Van Richten's books are non-fiction. Instructional books like crafting and farming and things, useful things.
you could argue that our old friend Rudolph's writings are also somewhat instructional, but
Useful depending on context, but that's not the theme.
You spot
Have
another.
you ever been in a library now?
You spot another one, Howl, that it has one of those. It has one of those spines that is quite artistically done, such that it is aesthetically pleasing to Howl. It's kind
it
of
looks a bit goth.
yeah. It's a black spine with kind of off-white text, and it's called "Admiring My Nightmares."
Cool. Nice. Well, I mean, I wonder how... Was it... Tarchamus? I wonder how Tarchamus manages to get to these books. Given that they're floating on bookshelves in the middle of this room.
Damn, I didn't have mage hand.
Alec, if you would like to make an intelligence check, you can see if you can tell if there is any sort of sorting system to these books.
Does Alec know the Dewey Decimal System? Haha. 9.
You do not identify any sorting system.
Trouble is, I can't read authors' names. That's the problem. They could be sorted by author.
You spot another one that is called Lovebirds with White Hair.
Interesting.
That's some elderly smut or something.
Non-old
the elder-
people. Young people can have white hair.
You spot a series of children's books called Rabbits of Yesterday and Little Birds and Dogs.
Oh, sounds cute. Regardless, we should probably pick a direction. Any inclinations?
Is there a left?
Yes.
Where should this go?
Left or right around.
I say we go left.
Well, works for me. It's as good as any other option.
Exactly.
Okay.
Does
The
does any?
Go on.
Sorry, go on. I was just gonna say, does anything else like along the way, if we were to go left, does it look similar, like in the ground, to that previous corridor? Like, do we expect there to be any kind of like pressure pads here as well?
Make a perception check.
Can I assist?
You may.
Not just casually throw out baguettes in front of me every now and again.
Yeah, you can just like casually scatter baguettes.
I want to do it so it like skips along the ground, so it'll trigger anything.
With the assist from
Roll one.
Ariana, that is a nat 20.
Well, very nice. What's that total to?
21.
Okay, you don't spot any traps in the floor.
I think we're probably good. I feel good about this corridor or this balcony.
The Queen says to the 18 adventurers and to you 5, Silshard, why don't we spread out and search for the book? Or some sort of anything interesting, any evidence of Aubryn, any evidence of visitors, any evidence of life here.
Do we know how big the library is?
You say as you glance at the seemingly endless columns of books that float up and down.
But is there a floor plan anywhere? Is there not like a "you are here" map?
Not that you can see.
So I would like to have Hal get quite close to Silshard and say, and whisper even to Silshard. In fact, no, we've got a mental link, don't we? I could probably just think it. Would that work?
Yeah, let's say that you recast Rary's telepathic bond. Oh, do you mean between you and Silshard?
Well, I was only going to do that because I assumed that the telepathic bond with all of us was down.
Yes, it is. So yeah, you can talk to Silshard.
Hal will communicate telepathically with Silshard and say, hey, so I couldn't help but notice that the first thing she asked us to do was look for the book, not for Aubryn or his remains. Maybe you should... the Rary's telepathic bond is down right now, but since I can speak to you, maybe it'd be useful for you to stick close to Queen Raedra and let me know if she does anything suspicious. There are quite a few of us here still.
Alright, I can do that. You hear in your mind.
Thanks. Okay. When Queen Raedra says that she wants to check for this book, does she gesture to the books in this room at all, or does she motion as if she wants to go to a different room?
She's motioning in a very general way. You could make an insight check to see if you if you can spot anything more intricate than that.
I will certainly do so. 10.
No, she gestures quite vaguely with a vague sweeping gesture around the room.
Okay. Right, well, shall we just check out the first room on the left then? Just see what's in there at the very least?
Yeah.
Are they rooms or are they just areas?
So, looking at the first few along the wall to the left of the entryway, you can see that these are reading rooms. So there are reading desks spaced out along the just in these rooms that are usually about 30 feet by 30 feet. There are those like little book stands that you can put books on and rotate, so you can like read several books at once. There are chairs. There's loads of kind of quills and inks scattered around the floor. There are bookshelves lining this room as well, but they are only interspersed with books. They don't have a great many books on them compared to the columns of shelves outside. There don't appear to be any human remains in any of the first 2 or 3 that you look in.
Are they full of dust, or are they like? Is there any sign of any life whatsoever?
Everything in here seems to be pristinely clean. And I think, Alec, you would be able to sense that there is some sort of prestidigitation, a permanent effect that stops the books from decaying and cleans up any dust and mould.
In the entire place? Or
across
just
the entire place.
Cool.
Is there still ink in the, like...
Inkwells,
thing, or
yeah.
is it, like, dried out?
No, there's ink in the inkwells.
Yeah, that's the word. Whatever this spell is that's keeping this place preserved, I should get some for my office.
Maybe you could just take one of these?
I have a feeling it's a locational thing, not the inkwell specifically. It's not a well of endless ink.
You do not know until you try.
Yeah, the point.
Out of character, Dan.
Yep.
Aubryn Crownsilver.
Yep.
Would you at all describe Aubryn as being of, and I quote, legendary importance by any chance? Perfectly fine if not, just checking.
How best to define legendary importance? Let's say yes,
Okay.
because this will be fun.
Does it look like there are quite a lot of these rooms?
It looks like there are probably about 15 or 20.
Does Queen Raedra look to be in a hurry?
Not especially.
Okay. Right. Given that everyone's kind of looking for different things, I assume people are fairly spaced out, right?
Yes.
Howl is going to try and get close to, I don't know, we'll go with, like, Génie, just for the first person Howl gets to, I imagine, and say, look, if, and Hal's trying to keep this quiet, if it looks like Queen Raedra's going to find this book, this manuscript of, was it Tarchamus, before we find Aubryn's remains, I may try and do a thing with Silshard to try and find Aubryn before then. I'm pretty aware right now that it seems as if she's trying to find this book more than she's trying to find Aubryn.
Do you think maybe she thinks finding the book will help her find Aubryn? If Aubryn was looking for the book, maybe if it's easy to find the book and on the way you find Aubryn, but I'm not going to lie, I had the same thought.
Yeah. Well,
I do not trust her entirely.
if Silshard and I unite our abilities, I'll say, I am able to, well, we can use that to divine a little bit. If it gets close to it, we'll try doing that, but for now, it's probably best if we just look for that, for both of them, the book and Aubryn.
Speaking of the divine,
Yeah.
I do not think I have the spell today, but if I had the time, I can ritually cast and try and gain some information from.
I mean, out of character, what Hal is referring to is obviously I have if Hal and Silshard use Silshard's Aegis, which is one of my Warlock Mystic Arcanum, I can use that to use Legend Lore, which would be pretty spicy in terms of finding Aubryn, because that, if I'm not mistaken, can consist of current tales, forgotten stories, or secret lore that is not widely known, meaning that that could be pretty good in terms of finding Aubryn or whatever Aubryn was doing before he died. For now, I think Hal's going to start tearing through some of these rooms, I think, and looking for anything.
All right.
Yeah, I was thinking of the spell Divination,
Books
which
that
I
are
can
in
cast
the
ritually, if necessary.
side bookshelves. What sort of books are they? Are they specific books, or are they just random ones?
Again, it seems to be reasonably random. You see books on history and geology, you see fiction and poetry. There doesn't seem to be any kind of like clear ordering or pattern to these books.
What's the most interesting book I spot?
Make an insight check.
Insight, 13.
You see a book entitled The Devil's Legacy.
Ooh, I'm gonna slide it out and start reading.
Okay. This is a treatise written from a historical perspective, and it begins to read like a textbook, but then you notice it kind of beginning to get quite kind of emphatic in suggesting that Asmodeus was right and all of the gods were wrong.
Right.
That's a take.
Yep.
Yikes.
Certainly interesting.
That's the most interesting book in this room. Make for me, please, all of you, intelligence investigation checks to see what you find as you search through this library.
Ooh!
I
Sorry,
found infernal propaganda.
I got a nat 20 again.
Nice.
We are investigating today.
Alright, Génie,
My dice.
what did you get?
The better than a nat 20. A natural 1 minus 1.
Okay, Génie is just... What's Génie doing? How is Génie so distracted that Génie doesn't notice anything?
I'm probably...
You find...
Can I have found a cookbook or
Yes,
something?
I was just about to say that. You find a book on... You find a cookbook that is 101 things to do with brie.
Yes.
That's valuable treasure. That's coming back with us.
Oriana,
7.
Hal,
25.
and Alec.
14.
Okay. Howl, it is you that enters a side room and notices that there are no reading desks in here. There is only a plinth in the middle of the room, upon which is set a closed book. This book must be about a foot in thickness, by the same, but by just over a foot and a half in length. It is bound in what looks like an alloy, kind of like a steel alloy that creates the cover for it. It's kind of metal and leather. It is a dark red. It's dark red in hue, then with the kind of the silver of the alloy weaving through it. It is closed. It is on its own. There is nothing else in this room.
Okay. Well, it's safe to say that's probably the manuscript. Does the room look in any way defended? I'm suspicious of the fact that this is just here on a plinth.
Make a perception check.
Cool. Perception it is. Oh, that... 6.
Something feels off. The air is slightly different. It's everything. When you approach it, your ears pop. Like when you get close to the room, your ears kind of pop.
Okay. First thing I'm going to do is mentally communicate with Silshard again and say, okay, well, play it cool, but I think I found that manuscript. Don't say anything just yet to Queen Raedra. Just, if something goes wrong, I need you to know where I am. And I kind of then describe which room I'm in, Silshard, basically. Cool.
So you are on the north wall.
Gotcha. Okay. Can I... What is the best way of doing this? So I'm going to summon Gleipnir. So I'm going to pull my scythe out of, like, the bit of my Howl's, like, shirt. And given that it's my packed weapon, it'll return to me if it goes further than 10 feet away from me. Can I stand approximately... How big is this room?
This room is 15 feet by 15 feet.
Perfect. Can I stand on one end of the room then?
Yeah.
And basically start throwing Gleipnir, across the room out of my reach to basically check every sort of square of the room without hitting the manuscript, ideally. Just for any pressure plates or anything?
Yep. When you throw Gleipnir into the room, Gleipnir disappears.
And then if I step away, does it come back to me?
Nope.
What do you mean, Dan?
Illusion.
Right, if I step, so I am 10 feet away from where Gleipnir was.
Yep.
Does it come back?
Nope.
Starting to feel a bit worried about that. Right, okay.
It's well, nope. Carry on. Actually.
Okay.
If you need it, I've got a collapsible Gleipnir in my backpack.
Of course you do. Okay, Howl's gonna be pretty suspicious of this. I am now thinking, is this an illusion? Could I make some sort of, I don't know, Arcana check or anything for that? I don't know. I don't have the technology.
Make me an intelligence Arcana check to see if you can work out whether this effect is magical or whatever it is.
Okay, that's a 17.
Yes, you can tell just by the way that the air changes and a few shimmers that there is indeed an illusion here.
Okay, cool. Right, I'm gonna need. How do I covertly go and get Alec without alerting everyone else to what I found? Do I know, as we've been walking around, which room Alec went into? Was it nearby mine by any chance?
Alec is currently, you're on the north wall, Alec is currently on the east wall, and has found a large collection of poetry.
Okay, right, in that case then, I'm going to, mind link or whatever with Silshard again, and say, okay, change your plans. This thing's got some sort of illusion, I think, on it. I could do with Alec coming in here, but I want us to find this before Queen Raedra. Could you get him and then come over here, but subtly if possible?
Silshard, in your mind, you don't hear any words, but you get the sense of agreement and affirmation. Alec,
okay.
You're currently flicking through a book of poetry. It's a collection.
There's no way Tiger rhymes with cemetery.
When you get
really busting out the obscure references today.
When you get a tap on the shoulder, and Silshard is behind you.
Yes.
Silshard gestures to the two adventurers that are in the room, currently also leafing through books, and then points to you and thumbs over his shoulder.
Right. I'll sort of gently close the book, put it back on the shelf, and sort of follow Silshard out of the room. Okay.
Silshard leads you to where Howl is standing, in front of this doorway.
Right. What's the situation, Howl?
Come and see for yourself. It's I wouldn't worry about it too much. Hal will kind of nervously eye the surroundings, and then kind of lead Alec into this room.
Towards the room.
Yeah.
Alec, Howl is leading you towards a large archway, beyond which is just pitch black.
Oh no!
Is this what I think it is, Dan?
I don't know, what do you think it is?
Given that we discussed them last session, do I reckon that this is a sphere of annihilation?
Yes.
What?
How?
Oh no!
You didn't put anything through this doorway, did you?
Yeah, I mean, I tried to test out if the room was trapped at all. I threw Gleipnir, around the room to try and test it. Why? What? Alec, you're making a face.
Allow me to demonstrate a simple principle here, and I'll pull out a marble from my pocket and throw it as hard as I can through the hole, the sphere of annihilation.
Yep.
What does this look like to me?
So to you, Alec pulls out a marble and throws it through this archway, and the moment it passes through the archway, like Gleipnir did, it just disappears.
If this were an illusion that were covering a room, we would have heard the marble hit the back wall.
Right.
We didn't hear the marble hit the back wall.
Hey, where's Gleipnir, man? What are you saying?
Depending on how the magic works, it might not exist anymore, Hal. You could just try summoning it back to you. That'll probably work.
Right, I mean, I tried stepping away. Give me a second. Can I, Dan? Did you do the thing that I never do? And can I use my action to re-summon Gleipnir entirely? And, pull it out again? Does it work?
No.
Out of character, Dan, I'm gonna lose it.
Oh no.
Maybe you do need my collapsible Gleipnir.
1 minute, Alec, please.
Ow.
Just give me a moment. Hal's gonna like walk into like the bit just outside of the room and kind of like go like yell into like the crook of his arm.
Okay.
And then walk back in.
That yell gets the attention of several of the adventurers and the Queen, who all come over towards you.
Fair enough.
And says, the Queen says, "What's wrong?"
Probably best you keep your people outside for the moment. There's something dangerous in this room. Just bear with us just a moment.
One of the wizards looks at it and says, "Yep, looks like there's an illusion there," and will wave his hand, and the illusion is dispelled, and now all of you can see that this archway beyond there is just pitch black.
Obviously, I've seen a Sphere of Annihilation before.
Yep.
So do I recognise that that's what this is?
Yes.
Hal's gonna just like hands in pockets, kind of like look at this thing and say, "Shit! I may have just lost a couple of millennia, maybe old family heirloom. Do I see that book still there at all, Dan? Is that just
No,
gone?
that's gone now. The door, what was beyond the doorway is just replaced by pitch black.
Is Silshard okay? I assume Silshard's come with them. Like, obviously, Silshard was linked to Hal through Gleipnir. Is Silshard here? And is Silshard okay? I can see that you're thinking, Dan, and I don't like that.
You suddenly notice that Silshard isn't around.
Don't joke about this.
I'm just looking at the line in the Sphere of Annihilation's item text, artifacts are the exception, and thinking about how I would argue that Gleipnir is inherently an artifact.
Silshard.
Miles, if at any point you ever want a rules lawyer, do it now. Do it now.
So, Howl, you look around. Your eyes scan the crowd of adventurers around you and settle on your friends, on Génie, on Oriana, on Alec.
Swear, Dan,
you see the Queen and you see the adventurers, and your eyes desperately scanning and searching around settle on Silshard, who is eating a baguette at the back of the crowd.
Howl's gonna have like a moment of like he was like probably getting more and more like visibly like distressed. Howl's going to walk over and like stand next to Silshard and try and like covertly kind of like give Silshard like a hug, and then just stand very pensively trying to mask all this frustration and anxiety.
Okay.
Just kind of stand like this.
So you give Silshard like a discreet hug. Silshard just carries on eating, and it's just like as you hug, just like shrugs a little bit and carries on eating. And you hear in your mind, "Thanks."
Hal's going to respond in his mind saying, "Yeah, I think I might have just lost Gleipnir." But
Oh, fuck.
yeah, fuck. It's a good thing you're not like, tied to that exactly anymore.
Have you tried resummoning it?
Yeah, I tried resummoning it and it didn't work.
Huh. That sounds problematic.
I'm not feeling good.
He like Silshard like Thanos us away.
The Queen is looking at this empty room, the Sphere of Annihilation in front of you, Alec, and says, "I suppose then there wouldn't be anything behind that? It's probably a trap."
Yeah, I mean, even if we could get behind it, it's not like we can just walk through it.
Well, quite. You're the most skilled wizard in perhaps all of Faerun at the moment. Do you have any advice? Should we just leave it, move on, or should we see if there is anything there?
Don't throw any extra-dimensional spaces, such as a portable hole or bag of holding, through it, because there's a 50% chance that destroys the sphere. So
you hear from the other side, from another wall. Your Majesty, there's something here you should see.
I swear, if you're telling me with a 25, Dan, I found this, and one of the NPCs has gone to like the next door room and found the book, I will.
It's another wall. It's on the west wall.
Okay.
The Queen and several of her adventurers kind of move over. One of the adventurers that has a spear jabs the spear into the darkness and pulls it out, and the head of the spear is missing, and he just goes, "Cool."
Hal's gonna put his hands up on his head like this and be like, "My mother's going to kill me." Oh,
why did you throw Gleipnir? You could have
just
just asked me to come over.
don't all have true sight, Alec.
You could have just asked me.
I was expecting the floor to have pressure plates that would shoot fire at me or something like that, not a spear of annihilation.
I'm going to be honest with you, Hal. If there was pressure plates, there wouldn't have been an illusion in the room, because a pressure plate is inherently hidden in the floor.
I didn't know there was an illusion. Hal's just head in hands, completely distraught.
Maybe
right now.
the next time you want to investigate something magical, call over the person who has a plus 15 bonus to his Arcana skill.
What do you mean plus 15, Alec?
What's Oriana
Well, on a
doing?
scale of 1 to 20, I average about 25 on my Arcana skill.
So, we know this library and Tarchamus did stuff with other planes.
Mm-hmm.
Oriana would probably take the distraction of the Annihilation Sphere and try and see if she can find any book that would relate to her abilities or something of the kind.
Okay, make an intelligence investigation check.
I'm going to really quickly nip to the toilet.
How dare you?
So, Hannah just said in chat, if only Fancy IQ was still about, Hal could have gotten a replacement easily. The fact of the matter is, there are other Gleipnirs, but none of them will be that one, and that one in particular is special. Kind of.
This is 16.
16. You find 2 books of interest to you. One of them is entitled The Phantom Rogue. The other one is entitled Starhaven.
Phantom Rogue part of the series.
The next one, Attack of the... I don't know. Rogue.
Attack of the Manchus.
Sorry.
So you've got The Phantom Rogue and Starhaven.
Awesome.
I can't believe this. I can't believe this.
The Phantom Rogue is a book, once you have a look at it, that seems to detail pretty much all of your abilities and has an explanation as to how they work and why they work, and perhaps even, you're only skimming through it at the moment, but studying it you sense you might get a better understanding of how your soul capture and soul speech works. Starhaven is an exploration of Starhaven is a book about the location Starhaven, which is where the King's Tears are mined.
Amazing. I'm gonna quietly tuck them into my little backpack. I'm gonna keep these for later.
When you do, and you take those books, you put them into your backpack, kind of making a bit of room, stuffing them into your backpack. When you look up, you catch sight of Sam.
I was just immediately gonna freeze. Not even a hair moves, just frozen staring.
Sam is currently looking past you almost, and then his eyes meet yours, and he smiles, and then he disappears.
What the fuck? Kind of blinking out of the shock. Oriana's gonna kind of like look around, see if anybody else saw him.
You're in a room on your own.
Can I see what he was looking at before his eyes met Oriana's?
If you turn around and look, you can see that there is a small annex to this particular room that you are in, and it contains a pedestal with a closed book on it. The book is about 1 foot thick by 1.5 foot in length. It is made out of red leather and run through with a silver alloy.
What is the book called, or does it not have an obvious title?
If you head into the room, are you heading into the room?
Yeah.
You head.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Miss Bear.
I wanna test it first.
Would Oriana be suspicious enough?
He'd probably still be in shock, not gonna lie.
Okay.
Is
Probably
Oriana
wouldn't be
aware
thinking
of the
about
other sphere?
Oriana will have just overheard what was going on. So, you can give it a test if you want.
Yeah. I think I have a bunch of ball bearings, so I'll just toss.
Okay.
Four.
You
What did I have a bunch of
you roll the ball bearings into the room. They kind of roll around the room. One of them bounces off the plinth. Everything seems normal.
Oh, we'll walk in and have a look at the book.
actually distraught?
The book, the cover of the book is entitled Ex Libris.
Title drop.
Is it EX or the letter X?
EX.
For those not aware, that's the name of the episode. I love it when this happens.
Tell us every
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love
Does
it
look
every
like
week.
the book's on a pedestal, on like a pressure plate at all.
Make an intelligence investigation check.
It's like an Indiana Jones situation with like you gotta put something else on there.
I do have a bag of sand for this situation.
12.
You do not find any traps on the plinth.
Cool. I will carefully open the book.
You open the book, and a piece of paper falls out of it onto the floor.
Number note from Sam, I can tell.
Have a look at the paper.
Okay. The piece of paper is a letter written in common, and it says, Raedra, I found it, and I'm going to make sure you never do.
Yes.
I've taken it. I'm going to hide it. You will never find me. If you find this place, whatever unscrupulous methods you've used, whatever fools you've tricked into trying to help you, and whatever mess you're about to make, whatever threats you're about to issue, just know this. All of it will be in vain. You will never succeed. You will never be powerful. I'm sorry. And it's signed Bryn Crowns. Well, it's signed Bryn.
Insight check.
You're not there.
Bruh.
I was gonna say, whereabouts in the library we're not there, but whereabouts is this taking place?
This is on the east wall.
Okay.
Is there anything in the book at all, or is it just a blank?
The book is just completely blank. It's just sheets of parchment, and you get the sense that this has been kind of made. So now that you look at it, it's not a bound red leather with alloy rivets through it. It's bound red leather. The alloy is painted on it, and the leather is just kind of scraps, you think, from leather armor that's just been painted. The thing here is a fake.
Oh my god.
Do I take the book or do I leave it?
Free book. Those are worth like 25 gold.
Are you really metagaming to give
It's not a
Oriana
real book.
25 extra gold?
It's not a real book.
Well, given that some of us are just throwing magic items away.
I'm sure I
take
could work
it.
this.
Okay, you take the book.
If anything, it can be used to write shit on. So
Mm-hmm.
free parchment. Why not?
That's-
Am I able to squeeze it in my backpack, or is
No, it's too big for your backpack. Do you have a bag of holding?
Génie does?
I hear my name
Can I?
whispered on the wind.
I was gonna say, can I sandwich it between like two other books that the other two books are related,
Mhm.
but not to like the fake book.
Mhm.
Just to be like, oh yeah, these are books. I'm just curious. I want to
Yeah,
read these.
sure.
Definitely.
Okay. You also pick up a book called "The Scar and the Sickle" and "Changeling's Demise."
Amazing. Cool. I'm gonna go find Génie.
Okay.
How many book names do you have on hand, Dan? Just curious.
Technically an infinite number because I have a generator.
Nice.
Think smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Just a technical question here.
Uh-huh.
If I were to leave and rejoin the Discord call, would that break the overlay?
Yes, it would.
Okay. Because there's a problem with the sound on my PC, and the only way I can fix it is by leaving and rejoining.
Can you hold on for 10 minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
No one else can hear that annoying mechanical buzzing, right?
No,
No.
not at all.
Okay. In that case, I will deal.
Thank you. Okay. The Queen has been led over to the West Wall by some of her adventurers. Are any of you following?
I'm gonna mope behind, but actually no, I'm staying in the room with this orb, Dan. I'm mourning.
Okay, there isn't a room with an orb in it. The archway that led into the room just leads into blackness.
Well, yeah, alright, I'm gonna sadly mope after Queen Raider, I guess, then.
Okay. You and Silshard, who is currently eating a baguette, follow Raidra. What's Génie doing? You can see Oriana coming towards you.
I'm probably casually looking at books, not really any intention of walking with people, not following anyone, just
Okay.
walking and perusing the library.
Okay.
As if I'm looking for a book in particular,
Mhm.
but at this point I was so intrigued by the 101 Ways to Cook Brie, I'm just looking for other cookbooks at this point.
Okay. What's Alec doing?
Alec, I'm going to be sticking close to Queen Rager just to make sure she doesn't find. I'm sure she doesn't find the Tome of Tarchamus, but also Alec is trying to work out whether he could manipulate the spell Time Shift in such a way to just, without travelling himself, pull Gleipnir out of the past and give it the present day Howl.
The absolute...
Make an intelligence arcana check.
The absolute mental gymnastics that has surrounded Gleipnir throughout this campaign, by the way.
Not very good. 19.
You think it may be possible, but you would need to spend a good amount of time thinking about it.
The fact that you said not very good and I said 19, by the way, Miles.
On a scale of minimum 16, maximum 35.
You follow the Queen around to the West Wall, where one of her adventurers is showing her a small campsite that has been set up in one of these reading rooms. There are 3 tents in there, and several bags and sleeping rolls that indicate that 3 people were living in here for a little while. It looks like they left in a hurry. All of their equipment is still there, but there are no signs of life. Raidra bends down and picks up a satchel and says, "Oh, this is Bryn's. I gave it to him." Oh gods. What happened? She turns it over and the back of it is covered in blood.
How much blood is there?
Once you start to look around, you can see that there are pools of blood dotted here and there. It seems that whatever prestidigitation spell is keeping everything clean is also keeping the blood wet. In the same way that it's not letting the ink dry out, it's not letting the blood dry either. You think there is enough blood for at least 2 dead bodies.
Well, there's enough blood here for 2 dead bodies.
Or
So-
3 not dead bodies.
Or 3 mostly dead, I suppose, but... No, the buzzing stopped. Have I just gone deaf? Yes, there's or at most 2 dead bodies that have been prestidigitationed away, which means that at least one of the people survived.
She says, I didn't know that he'd come with friends. I thought he went alone.
Howl is going to glumly kind of like crouch next to one of the pools of blood and then look up to Alec and say, I mean, on the upside, couldn't you technically, scry on somebody using their blood pretty well?
Yes, but if they're within the library currently, then probably wouldn't be able to find them because the effect for not being able to scry from outside would apply inside.
Huh. Fair enough. Hal's gonna kind of just sit prodding at this pool of blood. It's miserable.
Oriana, you find Génie.
Hey, can I borrow the bag of holding real quick?
Oui. You want to just store some books in it?
Please.
That is not
Are
a
there
problem.
any other... Sorry, you go.
You might find it interesting. I found one on cooking brie. If you want to read it when we get home.
We should definitely take that one home with us.
I know, right?
Are there any of the others around, or is it just...
It's just you
Oriana?
2.
Cool. Even though it's just the 2 of us, when Oriana puts the books in the back, she's going to lean close and she's going to whisper to Génie, the book isn't here. Auburn is alive. The meathead was right.
That is most interesting. Is that live, you say?
Well, theoretically, yes. He left this note and she's gonna, subtly give it to Génie so that he can read it sneakily.
Yes, taking the book. He is alive. She won't have it. Oh. Do you think we can trust it? Is it not like he is a bad guy and he just doesn't want the good people to get it, perhaps? Or do you think that he is being a good guy in this situation?
He is the good guy. For a woman that was so previously devastated and concerned for the loss of a loved one, she was awfully quick to focus on the book once we got here.
I will add the same thoughts. I think she cannot be trusted. We must keep ourselves to ourselves, and if it comes down to it, I do not think she can leave her alive.
I can probably rearm those traps quite easily.
The gang kills the Queen of Cormier.
Do you remember when we were like, we won't start a war?
When Laurel had us explicitly promise not to start a war between Cormier and Waterdeep. Actually, she cost me Gleipnir. It's on. Bets are off.
No, you cost you going near.
I will say this. Do not start a fight, but be prepared to finish a fight.
absolutely.
It's a raw line.
Alec,
And then we can say we did not start a war.
Exactly.
Alec,
Yes.
Miles, what genres of books have I mentioned so far?
We've had like the crafting, so like, and then roping that in with agriculture. We've had the history book that I've got, which is technically political propaganda, but and then so you've explicitly mentioned poetry, and I think that's all the ones you've like explicitly mentioned out loud.
There's cooking.
And cooking, I guess.
What surprises Alec that it's missing?
Books on magic surprises me most.
I would argue cooking is magic.
Cooking is chemistry.
Yes, cooking. Well, chemistry is cooking.
Chemistry is
really.
cooking, yeah. It's not a real science.
We've explored all of the like alcoves, haven't we?
Yes, and although we've kind of hand-waved over a couple of them, but yeah, at no point have you found a book on magic. But there are, in those reading rooms that I described, many empty shelves. The Queen stands up and turns round and says, All right. Everyone, let's methodically search here. If there's no sign of Bryn, then let's see if we can at least find the book.
She would say that.
And the adventurers begin to fan out. So I'm going to suggest here that this is where you as a group can discreetly reconvene, because everyone is fanning out to search.
Yeah, for sure.
What happens when you reconvene?
Howell looks so depressed. He's not looked this depressed since, like...
Barovia,
yeah. But it's more of a superficial, like, he can live without Gleipnir, he's just miserable.
Do you want my collapsible clip? I know it is not a true replacement, but it is something.
I don't need your... Thank you, Génie, but I don't need your pity, Gleipnir. It's not the same.
It is not a pity, Gleipnir. I just don't want you to... It is like when smokers quit smoking, they need something to fill it with. It's the feeling of having something. It's not...
Oh, no, trust me. As long as Silshard's still around, I can still defend myself, I believe. And, in fact, no, I'm going to save that. Hal will just look kind of a little bit unhinged at the loss of Gleipnir and say, if anything tries to fight me, or anything goes wrong, then I'll be fine without it. I would just much rather have it. Either way, on as much as I hate to admit it, it's not really the main concern right now.
I mean, again, think about it this way, Hal. You've finally overcome the shackles to your family's past and your father's legacy.
But Silshard and I already did that!
Truly free to live as your own person.
Well, it's like the equivalent of, say... Actually, no, I can't say that because cars don't exist in D&D. Never mind, I was going to make an analogy that doesn't work. It's the equivalent of saying, I don't know, having a particularly nice horse, but that horse once, belonged to a bad person. We got rid of the bad person, we dealt with that. Now it's just a nice horse.
Alec very carefully, pulls his time anchor up so you can see on his wrist where the symbol of the cult of Vecna is branded. I'm just going to say, I killed Vecna, and you think I now like looking at this symbol?
That's not.
You think I wouldn't get rid of it if it wasn't now a permanent part of my life? Every time I die, I come back with this branded on me. Sort of shuffle the time anchor back up to hide it.
That's. I see what you're saying, Alec. That's not exactly what I meant. I just meant that I changed what Gleipnir meant to me and what it meant to Silshard, and it was almost. I guess I gained a genuine sentimental attachment to it, and it became, rather than being a thorn in my side, it became, a symbol of everything that I'd managed to overcome. Losing it's kind of a loss for me, but it's not the end of the world. My mother is going to kill me, though. I'm just glad that Silshard's okay. I was worried that when we lost Gleipnir, that something would have happened to my connection with Silshard.
Silshard, at this point, says, "Is there any sign of the book?"
Yes and no.
What does that mean?
I found the book.
Great.
But it wasn't actually the book, it was a replica. Orbrin has the book. And Orbrin isn't here.
So, and Hal's gonna say this real quiet. So Orbrin's alive then?
Orbrin's alive. And
Orbrin's alive? Sorry, it's just Brian Blessed-esque.
Right there.
Gordon's alive?
The mechanical crackle that everyone's voice has for me.
Orbrin's alive, and the however many pounds of beef brisket that Silshard took a fancying to was right.
Ah, okay. Well, that's not good, but on the other hand, at least it confirms what we can believe now. Any idea where Orbrin went with it?
Not a clue. He left this note, and Oriana will gesture for Génie to show Hal and Alec.
I open up the 101 Things to Do with Bree, and in there you see the note.
Amazing.
And I say, "This
Wow,
is
what
quite
a really
an
good
interesting
recipe.
recipe."
For Brie.
Yeah, I can't wait to get home and try it.
Yeah.
You take the
Change
big
them.
potato. You
We should
Cooked
change our name
it.
to Breenie's Lamp.
Whilst you ponder all of this, let's take a break. We will be back in around 10 minutes at about 22. So, folks in chat, just roleplay amongst yourselves for a little bit. We'll be back in 10 minutes. See you shortly. Hello. We're back. The heroes are currently stood in a circle talking to one another, Howl mourning the loss of Gleipnir, which he threw into a sphere of annihilation deliberately. Although, in his defence, he didn't know it was a sphere of annihilation when he threw it in. Oriana has found the book, Ex Libris, which appears to be the Book of Tarchamus, and it contained a letter explaining that Orbrin Crownsilver, the Queen's beloved, had found the book beforehand and had removed it and is no longer here. What looks like the remains of enough blood for 2 people has been found in a campsite, a abandoned and disused campsite. And Génie has found a book on 101 Things to Do with Bree. What do you want to do now that the Queen has instructed all of her and about 18 remaining adventurers to look for this book that Oriana has concealed in your bag of holding?
Has anyone noticed that there aren't any books on magic around? You'd
I'll be
think
honest,
a
I haven't
wizard's
really looked.
you'd think a wizard's library would have like easily 300 different books on magic.
I guess that is kind of strange. Maybe there's another section we haven't found?
Does the Queen know without a doubt the book is here?
The Queen
Or is
emphatically believes that the book is here.
so the book could be elsewhere in her knowledge.
Yes.
She just really wants it to be here.
Yes.
Has anyone
I'm-
spotted any secret passageways?
I don't think so.
I mean, there was the annex that I found the book in, but it was like a closed room. So.
Shh.
Well,
Don't
I'll
say
say
that out
this.
loud.
Hey, would this be a good time for us to put the telepathic bond up again, maybe, given that we're, being sneaky?
Sneaky.
Yes.
Good shout.
Well, I begin casting Rory's
All right.
telepathic bond.
It takes you 10 minutes to cast this spell. Does anyone want to do anything during those 10 minutes?
I want to leaf through the 2 random books that I'd picked up to hide the other book.
Okay. What were their names?
I have no idea.
Can I also ritually cast a
One was
spell?
something about
Yeah.
changelings.
Divination.
And one was something about a sword.
Both of them are kind of second-rate works of fiction. Like kind of
how
like
advanced?
airport novel, like kind of standard. And what is Génie casting?
Well, I don't think I've got the material components.
What's the material component?
Incense and a sacrificial offering appropriate to your religion worth at least 25 gold.
25 gold worth of brie.
To be fair, I think you would be carrying 25 gold pieces worth of like good food that you would be able to offer.
Okay.
I'm going to put this joke in the Discord just in case it's not appropriate for.
I want to ask,
Mm-hmm.
will the Queen find this book?
What response do I have to give you?
You ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. The GM offers a truthful reply. This might be a short phrase, cryptic rhyme, or an omen. The spell doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as the casting of additional spells or the loss or gain of a companion.
And you ask, will the Queen find this book? Yes. But not first.
Okay. I will, once the telepathic bond is up, which is probably about the same time that I finish the spell, I will relay that to the rest of the group.
So just so that was.
Will the Queen find the book within the next 7 days to the spell? Yes, but not first. And I will posit, if that's the right word. Do you think that means that she finds Oberyn first, or that somebody else finds the book first and then gives it to the Queen?
I mean, I could, and I'll be saying this in the telepathic bond. I mean, I could do what I mentioned to you earlier, Génie, and Silshard and I could, use our abilities together to, well, cast legend lore. I don't know how else to describe that other than that, and try and find out what's going on with Oberyn of late. Though I believe that would take me another 10 minutes, so, maybe best if we do that once we're out of here.
Next time we rest.
Well, that's the telepathic bond reinstated.
Right, I couldn't say that the telepathic bond wasn't up yet.
Well, it will have been with the time I did my spell, so.
Fair enough.
One of the adventurers shouts over to the Queen. Your Majesty, there's a room here that should have something in it, but the plinth, it's empty. And the Queen heads in that direction.
I mean,
In the
if you
tub.
think about-
Sorry, go on.
If you think about it, the plinth being empty is nothing that special. I mean, just look around. Half the shelves in these rooms are empty.
It's like I said, no magic books.
Exactly, it could have been taken by something else.
Right, what happens if the Queen starts panicking and thinks that somebody's taken it before her? If she suspects one of her group have stolen it, then we may end up getting searched. Remember, she's able to act under the guise of somebody who's breathing here.
Silshard says, "Should we tell her and confront her?"
Let's see
No.
if she thinks that the book has been taken first. If she thinks that it is just an empty plinth, we might be able to get away with it.
I do have another idea. Well, if she were to find the fake book, then that's a blank book, and that's what it is. It's only the note that gives it the context. So if we were to hide the note successfully, then she can have the fake book, right?
There's a lot of papers that we could use.
Not to be crude, but hey, Alec, earlier you said that you don't need to eat, you just eat for fun. Does that mean you digest things?
I'm gonna stop you right there. I don't even know if I can swallow the book.
No, not the book. I was more thinking, well, if you were to eat the note, and then, I don't know, vomit it out later, as long as you don't digest it, you're a lich, you know, I don't know, is it just bones in there? Is it just... I don't know how your biology works, man.
Well, strictly speaking, I can sort of control it, because otherwise, the magic that reanimates me affords me a certain amount of control over my metabolism. It's why my hair still grows when I choose it to, but I don't start decomposing. I'm both alive and dead, depending on what the situation requires.
Okay, in that case then, I have... Go on, Alistair. Am I lagging, or is Alistair lagging?
Alistair's
So...
I have a question.
yeah.
I have gloves of thievery.
Mm-hmm.
When they're worn, they turn invisible.
Mm-hmm.
If theoretically we were to attach the note to the gloves, would it also turn the note invisible?
No, because it's the gloves that are invisible. If you put them in the gloves,
That's what I was meaning.
Okay,
if you put them in the gloves, then the note will be invisible. Yes.
But
Amazing,
wouldn't
give me the
the
note,
note
I'm
just
gonna put it
be
in the gloves.
inside the note, the invisible
Stuck
gloves,
to
so
your
you have to
hand.
see the note stuck to our
okay,
hand?
genuinely, I know it's kind of crude, but I feel like our best bet is to A, have Alec read the note again so that Alec's photographic memory will have it stored, and then B, Alec eats the note, and then either A, we get it back later, or maybe we don't, but either way, Alec knows what the note is. And then we just give her the fake book. Because what's she going to do, read the blank pages? Hey Alec, you feeling hungry?
No, but that's probably a good thing, because then I might chew it.
we come up with this plan, give it to Alec, and Alec starts chewing, and we're like, what are you doing?
Okay.
Get out a knife and fork.
And some brie. Okay, you pull the note out. Alec reads it, and then Alec, you're holding this note.
I kind of fold it up into a swallowable condition.
Yeah.
Can't believe
Is
it.
anyone watching us right now?
Like watching the stream, or like.
No. I mean both. If anybody is watching this, you're watching someone describe eating a paper.
I eat it without chewing it, that's the problem. It'd be really easy to chew it. I'll sort of awkwardly sort of I don't want to do that too far, and
Okay.
also
Make a dexterity sleight of hand check.
I feel like this is something that involves a
I love the
wisdom
idea that because you're making this a dexterity sleight of hand check, this is the equivalent of reverse pickpocketing inside of your throat. Like, Alec is reverse pickpocketing a note into his own stomach.
21.
Okay, you manage to wedge it in your esophagus, but not so that you can easily retrieve it later.
It's more of a like, rather than a actually making myself throw up.
Amazing.
Okay, and luckily it's my esophagus, so no one will hear me when I speak.
The Queen says, Howl, Oriana, Alec, Génie, Sylvester, would you come here, please?
Yes,
In the
of
top.
course.
In the top of the bond, I'll say, probably best just to present the book now and say, look what we found, you know.
Who wants to present it?
I mean, you have it, right?
It's currently in the bag of holding.
Oh, I don't want to present it. Someone else get it. You found it.
You're
Give
the
it
best
to me.
talking.
I will fly up to one of the shelves and act like I have just flown down from one of the shelves.
Okay.
I'll approach the Queen and try not to, like, massage the lump of paper that's currently wedged in my throat.
Yeah, your Adam's apple is looking a little more pronounced. Alright.
I've just got a really large, like, sweet.
The Queen says, well, it seems that neither Bryn nor the book are here, and I don't like the amount of blood in that other room. I'm not certain what to do.
Kind of, like, obviously because Oriana will look dipped to fly up to one. She'll land softly, book in hand, and kind of look at the Queen like, this might be what we're looking for. I found it all the way up on one of those shelves, but it looked important. I didn't want to open it just in case it had something that would be of use to you.
Make a charisma deception check.
Can I add
How would you help Oriana in that situation?
I would say, you know what? I was going to elaborate and come up with something, but I've just seen what Tony just rolled. It don't matter. It don't matter.
I was like, what's Oriana's deception modifier?
I said no because you barely need to. What did you get?
33.
She reaches out very gingerly to take the book from you.
Handing it over.
Okay. She opens it and stares down expectantly at the pages and begins to flip through them and flip through them and flip through them until she gets to the middle of the book, where there is written on a page the words that you can see from behind, you can see around as she holds this book open. In the middle of the book, written on a page, are the words, I forgive you, Bryn. And it falls to the ground. And when it hits the ground, it kind of crashes onto the ground and disintegrates a little bit in that, all these like loosely bound sheaves of paper just begin to spread out. And she looks down at it, and then she looks up at you, Oriana, and staring you dead in the eyes, says, what is the meaning of this?
Don't mean to sound rude, but I beg your pardon. I thought this was the book that we were looking for. Is it not?
What trickery, and she glances from to all of you, are you playing here?
Alec has bent down and is checking both sides of all the pieces of paper just in case they have like invisible writing on them.
None of them do. There's just that one piece of paper that says, I forgive you, Bryn.
Oh, well, at least three sheets of paper. The paper goblin.
The Queen puts her foot on your hand.
Ow.
She said, and she presses down, and you all, Alec, you don't feel anything, obviously, but everyone hears an audible crack as one of Alec's fingers breaks.
Okay, now, Howl is going to bark at Queen Raedra and say, "Hey, I know you just found some unpleasant information, probably, that you didn't want to find, but I would ask you to unfoot Alec's hand, please."
She lifts her foot off your hand, Alec, and turns to you, Howl, and says, "I've grown quite fond of you, naive young boy.
Young boy, I'm probably older than you.
Please don't make me have one of my friends here run you through and reopen that little wound in your chest."
Howl's gonna grin with the unhinged expression of someone who just lost their favourite weapon and say, "I'd like to see any of your pathetic excuses for adventurers. Try it. Frankly, if you treat all of your employees as you just did my friend there, I'll see how loyal they are."
What's your
We've all
passive?
had some...
What's your passive perception?
That is... 11.
Okay, and the other three of you.
Mine's a 23.
16.
Génie?
17. Sorry, I couldn't see on the screen.
Okay.
17.
Oriana, you see a blade going towards Howl's back.
Is there somebody holding the blade?
Yeah. Someone is about to run Howl through. You may use a reaction, but you may not use an action.
Okey-dokey, bear with. Give me 1 second. I want to see what my reactions are.
You got power word kill, right?
No.
As a reaction...
I don't have that.
Power word incapacitate?
How would turn to beans.
If only I'd spend that time to invent power word pleasure, like we said.
Power word swap places.
And do you have a reaction?
Technically, yes. Would I be able? Would there be enough time for Orion to step between the blade and Howl?
No.
Damn it. Then no, I don't.
Okay.
I can only create a soul trinket as a reaction then.
Howl.
Yeah.
This is with advantage.
Okie dokie.
You see the familiar look of a Gleipnir
Oh my god,
coming
don't.
out through your chest as if you have summoned
But
it.
it would be
Wrong
a
way.
terrible idea for one of them to steal Gleipnir, because then I could just summon it again and be like, cool, thanks for fetching that for me again.
Oh, hang on. Whoops. Does a 25 hit you?
So, yes, that's going to hit me.
Okay. You take 6 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
It's definitely not Gleipnir then.
17 points of sneak attack damage.
You.
There it is.
Yeah.
And 21 points of poison damage.
Okay. Yeah.
How are you doing?
How are you
51 out of 108.
Okay. All of the magicians begin to begin preparing spells. All of the archers knock arrows in their bows. All of the spear and swords fighters level their weapons, pointing at all of you. You are surrounded by 18 15th to 19th level adventurers, assassins, magicians, rangers, clerics, paladins and the Queen, who looks around each of you and says, "Don't any of you understand just how ridiculously small you are?"
Tall as the Queen.
She's shorter than you, obviously. She says,
Oh, sure.
she's shorter than you, obviously. But she says, "You believe that you're so important, that you're so brilliant, that you're heroes. You're not. None of you are heroes. None of you are important or impressive. None of you are worth the ground you step on. It's a shame that we didn't find the book, but a deal's a deal." And she pulls from her robes a bag of coins and chucks it on the ground at your feet, Alec, and says, "Take your gold. Leave with your life."
Can I
Oh god.
Resetting broken finger.
can I say to the Queen, taking off my talisman of pure good,
Woo!
and say, "Now, please, Your Majesty, we do not mean to bring you upsetness. We do not mean to bring you harm. Please accept this as a token of our apologies that we have not been able to help you find Oberyn or your book."
Do you hold it out to her?
Yeah.
She takes it.
Is she an evil creature?
No.
Okay.
She looks at it and throws it over the balcony.
Okay.
She nudges the bag of gold with her foot, looks at Alec and says, "I would strongly encourage you to leave with the gold and go back to your miserable, pathetic lives. I'll find the book myself."
Can I?
I'm just sort of reaching towards the gold.
Can
And in
I?
the telepathic bond, I say, "We're taking this regardless, right?"
Obviously.
Oh yeah, 100%. Is the knife kind of like? I assume whoever ran me through kind of did the kind of like run up behind me, grab me, and knife goes in type thing. Are they still like right behind Howl with the knife in Howl's back? Or, like,
No,
is that...
the knife has been retracted and they've stepped away.
Okay, Howl's gonna probably cough up a little blood, I imagine, and then grin unhingedly towards the Queen and say, "You're just mad because your boyfriend left you."
She says, "If Bryn has the book, it won't be my temper that he needs to worry about."
If Bryn was smart, he would have thrown it through the sphere of annihilation as I pick up the bag.
The sphere of annihilation would not have destroyed the book. And you know...
But how are you going to retrieve it if it's inside the sphere of annihilation?
The fact remains, I know Bryn. And I know that he would not take the book to destroy it. He is like you, he plays the hero, he thinks himself important, he thinks himself powerful, he thinks himself poetic.
As she's saying this, may I ask the party in the telepathic bond, if we can get out of here soon, permission to shut her up? I'd like to shut her up, please. Any objections?
No.
I kind of want to just leave, like. But
How fast could we teleport out of here, do we think?
well, I don't know if you could teleport out of the vault of this place. You probably can't teleport into it, but
Okay, well, worst comes to worst, I'll throw
we
down...
could just walk out. She's letting us leave. Let's just leave.
Oh, my pride is hurt. I want to cast Phantasmal Killer on us so bad.
Like, there's like 12 people around with Counterspell.
Yeah.
I'm like picking up the bag. I'm checking.
Okay.
I'm making a show of checking that the gold's there.
Yeah.
Can I look over the balcony to see what's there?
Yeah. It's just an endless black void going all the way down. You
So
see,
my talisman has gone.
you see the talisman clang off the side of a bookshelf about 300 feet below you, and it just keeps falling. She has continued her spiel, talking about how Bryn thinks that he is heroic. She then concludes by saying, "This world doesn't need heroes. It needs people determined to actually make the place." She thinks about the word habitable.
Howl's gonna cough up some more blood and turn as if going to leave, before saying, "You know, you are not the first person we've heard talk like that, and I doubt you'll be the last. You aren't special just because you're lofty. Thanks for the very, very poor excuse for a, whatever kind of monologue that was. We have better things to do." In the telepathic bond, Hal is like, "I really wanted to phantasmal kill her really badly."
Do you remember when we promised Laurel we wouldn't start a war?
Yep, you're right. Let's go.
I'm like ushering Howl out now.
Hal's like trying to play it as cool as he can, but in his head I'm like, I'm so angry right now.
As we're leaving, I assume the mages are like sticking close to us just in case we try anything.
Yeah, all 18 of them are like making sure you leave.
And I'm gonna, as we pass by the one I spoke to before the Hydra fight, I'm gonna lean in close enough that they can hear me, but she can't. And I'm gonna say, out of curiosity, ask her what your place in her new world order is. See what she says. And then I sort of keep leaving.
Okay. What's Génie doing?
Looking over the balcony, a bit lost. And we'll turn to the Queen and say, "You know, you could have just given it back and said no." And then walk away.
Génie, if you like, I can cast Fly, go down there and get it.
I have boots, I can also go get it.
I mean, if you can, that would be a wonderful thing for me. It's quite a wonderful item. I did enjoy having it.
I feel like we're pushing a lot, guys. We should go, I think.
It's not like I tossed it into a sphere of annihilation or something. It is retrievable.
Hey. Don't insult a man when he's been stabbed from behind. I just got stabbed in the spine, Génie. Let's go.
I will, before we go, I will heal you.
Okay. Cool. How much are we healing for?
So as you're walking out, you can heal Howl.
I'll do it at 4th. Yeah, I'll do it at 4th level.
You can do that. The 5 of you get the sense that someone is trying to cast the teleport spell on you.
On us?
Yes.
As in to teleport us somewhere else?
Yes.
Is it someone that we can see?
It would make sense that it was within the crowd of 18 people surrounding you.
You get 22 hit points.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna resist it because there's the sphere of annihilation nearby.
Ooh, I don't like this. I don't like this one bit.
Would they be able to if we're all split apart? Like if Oriana was flying down to get my talisman? Or...
Has Oriana attempted to go and get the talisman?
Yeah, I'll attempt. I'll vault over the edge and just
Okay.
drop down.
So at that point, the archers release arrows that come towards you.
I'm gonna ghost walk.
What does Ghost Walk do?
It gives them all disadvantage to hit.
Okay, so they're just back. So they have disadvantage to hit. So 8 archers try and shoot you. Okay. Of the what's your AC?
20.
20. Of the 8, 4 of them hit you.
That's fine. I can take that.
As where is it? Okay. So 4 of them hit you. So you take. So it's 48. Sorry, just doing maths. Total of 26 points of piercing damage. And then a total of 86 points of poison damage.
I'm out.
Oh, the absolute restraint we are exerting to not fight back and start an actual war right now. Can we leave?
Oriana just leaps over the edge. The arrows hit Oriana, and
Hi guys.
that's and well, okay.
If she's unconscious,
Well, you don't know. She jumps over the edge, and that's what she's intended to do. The arrows hit her, and she disappears as she intended.
I'm gonna look over.
We have. Oh, I can't say that.
Ariana?
There is no response.
Okay,
Try and communicate with her.
There is
if
no
I can't
response.
hear her in the telepathic bond,
Okay.
can I see her, like, falling over the edge?
Yes.
Okay, I vault after her.
Okay.
See you guys on the other side!
What the fuck are we doing?
The queen like looks round at you all and says, looks round at those of you who remain, the 3 of you that remain on top, and says, "Well, if you'd like to leap to your death as well, be my guest. Otherwise, get out."
You do not need to tell us twice.
Okay, in the telepathic bond, I'm going to communicate with Alec and say, "Okay, Alec, real quick, what's your plan here?"
There is no response.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Okay,
We just ended the party.
what do we do? Do we go after them to stay together, or do we?
You now
run?
notice, Alec, that, Howl, there was no response because the telepathic bond is no longer active.
Could I just yeet us both into a sphere of annihilation?
Silshard in your head says, "What do we do? Do we leap over or do we leave?"
Well, there's no sphere because we could see the talisman 300 feet down. You can't see through a sphere of annihilation.
Silshard is speaking to you telepathically, Howl.
Yeah.
I know, I'm just saying that out loud. People should know that.
I've got no way. I have teleportation magic, but it only works for me. I've got no way, even if I went up, of getting anyone back. Hey, Silshard, do you have any teleportation magic?
No.
Okay. do you remember that time? I'm saying this very, very quick, obviously, as Hal. Do you remember that time a little while ago during Crisis when Ma snapped a staff and we got shot into orbit for a while, and I tried to mentally implore you to shield all of my allies as best you could by spreading out the elements of the Aegis you can give me in order to essentially bubble us even just a little bit, just so that we could not die if we were in that kind of place. Do you remember that? Did that work?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think you could do that again?
Yes.
Okay. Can I pick up Génie?
Yeah?
Yes.
Génie, let's go.
Okay. You pick up Génie like a football.
Like a rugby ball.
Yeah. And grab Silshard, I assume, by like the scruff of his neck and throw and yeet yourselves over the balcony.
You're all running, and I'm going to use Silshard's Aegis mid-fall and try and essentially bubble, like using, obviously, I always imagine it's like bits of like old armor that like Silshard like might have worn as like a demon or something. Try and give enough of that to the entire party, spreading it out, just to try and cover us a little bit.
Okay.
If that made us survive in space before. That's my angle here.
Oriana,
Do I call lightning on the way down?
death saving throw, please.
Oh, anyway, yeah, she's down. Can I cast Bless on someone who's...
That's a 16.
Okay, one success. You leap over the balcony, and Silshard's Aegis begins to assemble around you. All around you, tendrils of Silshard's kind of greenish magic begin to coalesce into bits of armor, bits of old bits of old Blackwood armor, and bits of kind of like replicas of the stuff that Howl has worn in the past, and it begins to play around the three of you as you huddle tightly together. This armor begins to encase you. You can feel yourselves falling faster and faster and faster and faster and faster as the final piece of armor closes over your head. The last thing you saw were bookcases whizzing past you, and the balcony in the distance, so far away that you can't even make out the faces of those who remained looking over the edge toward you. Then you stop.
The end. Nice episode.
No, we've got another 25 minutes yet. 35 minutes yet. Then
Sure.
Then you hit something with unbelievable force that it makes your teeth rattle in your skull. You are protected by virtue of the Aegis, such that you're not going to take any damage, but you feel the effect of your bones vibrating to the point that they should shatter, but they don't. And then the Aegis begins to fall apart piece by piece by piece.
I look around and see who's around us.
Yeah, are we conscious?
You are conscious. Alec, a few moments ago, you threw yourself over the balcony to follow Oriana. After a while, you got the sense that you were no longer on the prime material plane. Because you felt the telepathic bond sever. And that would work if you were on the same plane of existence.
Yeah.
You are no longer on the prime material plane.
Can I see Oriana still beneath me?
Yeah, so you're still falling. You're falling at the same speed at present. So you pass this barrier, this invisible barrier. You're still falling into darkness, but you pass this barrier where you now know that you are no longer falling on the prime. You're no longer on the prime material plane.
Okay, I'm going to cast Fly on myself and use the fly movement speed to propel myself both down and towards Oriana.
Okay, you can catch up with Oriana.
Okay. Unfortunately, it's an action to feed someone else a potion, so I have to wait until the next turn.
So it's at this point that I need Oriana to make another death saving throw.
Fine.
Oh, that's 4.
Okay, you're on one success, one fail.
You know that thing that people say, and they say, if all your friends jumped off a cliff, would you do it? We have literally just done that.
Alec woke up today and said, "Yeah, do you know what?"
Okay. The darkness around you begins to get less dark, and light begins to appear below you. You both continue you continue falling for a little while longer. I don't need you to make any checks just yet, but you continue falling.
Going through a book, I'm scared.
For a little while longer.
Sir, I have not prepared for this. I need to find out some stats for this.
As soon as I can, I'm going to feed Oriana a potion of healing and also attempt to control the scent so as to not hit the ground at terminal velocity and shatter every single bone in my body.
All right. You are able to do that, such that as the ground beneath you begins to appear, it's a kind of coppery colour. The ground beneath you that begins to appear, the kind of flat ground. You are able to land yourself and Oriana and feed Oriana. You're able to do that. I need Oriana to make one more death save.
Yeah.
I'm so
and
scared
then you'll be able
now.
to feed the potion.
Are we going to land on them?
That's an 11.
Okay.
Good. That's
2
good.
successes, 1
That's good.
fail. Alec,
I'm so glad I have advantage on
alright,
this.
you regain 4 hit points from the potion. So you open your eyes, Oriana, and you look up, and you see a kind of egg shape of metal hurtling towards you. You've got maybe 10 seconds to react.
No, come on.
Can I shove Alec and use my bonus action to use Face Step?
Yep.
To teleport 30 feet away.
Okay, you shove Alec out the way. You teleport 30 feet away as this metal, this egg of metal just hits the ground. It occurs to you at this point, as it does so, that the ground is made of metal as well, such that when the egg lands, it just makes this kind of indentation into the metal. You can also tell that the ground is moving.
This is weird.
The pieces of armour begin to fall away from the Aegis, and eventually you are all face to face with one another again.
Are you okay? Is everybody okay?
On the plus side, telepathic bonds functioning again.
Yep.
Oriana, do you need some healing?
Yes, please.
Can I help Silshard to their feet?
Yep.
I will do so, and then in comparison to the sort of timid hug Hal gave Silshard earlier, Hal is now going to fully bear hug Silshard and like almost half spin them around and be like, "You may have just saved all of our 3 lives. Thank you. I could kiss you right now if you didn't look too much like me."
He kisses
weird.
you.
27.
Hal's just like, he said that would be weird.
Oriana, you get 27 hit points.
Thank you.
If I'd actually had lunch, that would have gone.
Not
You
to make light of the situation, but is my talisman around? Is it here? Did you catch it?
Do we see
I
the
look
talisman?
around for the talisman of pure good.
Make an investigation check, all of you.
Investigation.
All
I'm
this.
actually good at that.
All this.
27.
I got a 25.
I got a 17. All this, and if it's not here, I'm gutted.
You find the talisman in 6 pieces.
Well,
I
Can
mean,
I
I
try
can mend
mending?
it back together, but I don't think that's going to repair
Can
the
we try
magic
mending it together and do a super mend?
by our powers combined.
Now, is Dan frozen?
No.
Or is Dan... Oh, okay.
Dan is furiously checking notes.
Okay, cool.
What happens if your players throw themselves into the bottomless pit?
You look around and you realise that you are standing on you're standing on a surface made out of copper that is slowly rotating.
Okay, any idea where we are?
We're not on the material plane, I can tell you that much.
Hey, you don't suppose this is where Orbrin went, do you?
Do you think Orbrin was silly enough to throw himself off a balcony?
If Orbrin was trying to do everything he could to get that book away from Raedra, then maybe.
You can look around you and make intelligence checks to see if you can work out where you are.
Rush raw intelligence?
Just straight intelligence.
14.
4.
13.
5.
Okay, Oriana and Alec, you have you look around and you can see that you seem to be stood on some sort of giant cog. Because it is rotating, and you can see another one made of silver rotating in accordance with the little teeth on the edge of your cog. And as you look around, you can see that there are more and more and more cogs.
Out of character, I think I know where this is. Oh my god.
Knows where we are.
So, Alec and Oriana will know where you are.
I think we've just thrown ourselves headfirst into Mechanus.
For those who do not know what that is,
Of character, who and a what now?
The plane of pure order. Diametrically opposed to Limbo on the Great Wheel.
Oh,
Home of the Modrons, the Inevitables, Primus. It sounds really cool, but I don't want to be here. Checks alignment. I'm not true neutral.
Is that important?
Well, I mean, spending time on a plane of existence that's very nature is diametrically opposed to your personal alignment can be damaging to you. I mean, imagine spending like a year in hell. That's going to affect your soul in a similar way that this will, just on a different axis of imagine you could split all human
Alec, I lived in the
morality
abyss for a number of months.
into a 3x3 grid with 9 extreme points. Right? This is all making sense.
Yes.
We are at the point of pure law, absolute order. If we are in any way slightly disorganized, bad things for the soul.
What you're saying is that chaotic types like us probably don't fit in here too well.
I mean,
technically I'm neutral good, but
I'm true neutral.
are you saying someone that was like lawful and good would be?
Lawful is better than not. But the point is, can any of us plane shift?
Actually, yes, maybe. And funnily enough, getting back to... give me just one moment. I out of character, I need to read a thing.
Okay. Whilst Howell is reading that, looking around you, you can see in the sky several shapes approaching you.
Can I be trying to put together this talisman?
Yeah.
Or at least collecting all the pieces.
So you now realise that it is in more than 6 pieces. What was kind of a small kind of pyramidal talisman has now shattered into many pieces, and it will take you some time to put back together.
Do I get the feeling that if I did put it together, it would still work?
You don't know, but you get the sense that it has not lost its magic.
I'm collecting all the pieces like that.
You collect all the pieces.
Okay, so, yeah, given the abilities afforded to me by Silshard, again, thank you, by the way, I can, I guess it's somewhat of a ritual of sorts. It's called the Dream of the Blue Veil. It's something I can do, which, as long as we have a magic item from some world on the material plane, like ours, I can use that to put us all into, essentially we all go to sleep. And then, if everything goes well, it'll take us to within 1 mile of where that magic item was created. I assume we have something like that, and in theory that could take us back at least to the right plane of reality.
We have the
Out
time
of character. Am I understanding that right, Dan? Out of character.
Dream of the Blue Veil.
Yeah. It's
See, I
one of my
know
mystic
it
arcana.
takes you to other campaign settings, but I don't know if it works for planar travel.
So it can take you to anywhere on Earth, Toril, Kryn, or Eberron.
Orith. But yeah.
Yeah, it's
Orith,
not
okay.
pronounced. I would say Earth.
Earth. Okay.
Anyway,
It's a
Yeah.
funny
The spell and creature. Spell and okay. Yeah,
I need
it
to
would work.
get my light on because I am.
I have the Out of Disguise that I believe Alec created for me back at the lamp.
that
work?
would be ideal then.
Wasn't the Hat of Disguise created in Barovia?
Yeah.
Mine was not.
Yeah, so we didn't have, we had some in Barovia, but Génie's was made later, because obviously Génie didn't go to Barovia.
Okay.
Or
I
did
mean,
it?
in terms of magic items made in the material plane, and
I
I
think
hold up the time anchor.
Yeah. That said, I know we shouldn't spend long here. I do kind of want to test out my theory, though, about Bryn. It might be worth me... Actually, no, that'd mean staying here for a day. Forget I said anything, I don't want to stay here for a day.
We'll
We
go
can
home and then
probably-
we'll try it.
The shapes in the sky are getting closer.
Shall we go?
Are they more than 120 feet away?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know where I've put my
Binoculars.
opera glasses. Hang on. Are they on here? Alec is rooting around in his backpack for something.
Sorry, I have just realised something. The effects of
Oh no.
the effects of the spell, well, because it requires us to go to sleep, it happens 6 hours into us being asleep, meaning that we'd have to sleep for 6 hours and not take damage for it to work.
That's fine, I can cast Leomund's Tiny Hut.
Oh, alright, fair enough then.
Are we going to be able to outrun these whatever shit? I can't see them. You're going to have to describe
What
how
are
fast
they?
they're moving to me.
Can I use my what's it called? Obviator's lenses?
Mm-hmm.
I can turn them into, I think it was Eyes of the Eagle and Eyes of Minute Seeing. I will turn them into Eyes of the Eagle
Mm-hmm.
to see if I can figure out what they are.
Okay. You see now that it is not several things floating towards you. It is one thing floating, flying towards you through the sky, but broken into several pieces that kind of reconnect and then break apart again. You get the sense that it is one large construct that is able to fly by detaching parts of itself and moving back again. When you see it kind of... when you see it kind of reconvening in places, you get the sense that this is a large construct made out of riveted metal with one central eye and a very large spinning disc on its chest.
I will relay everything that I have seen.
Sounds like you're describing a biblically accurate angel to us, Dan.
If Alec hears the description, Alec would know that Oriana can see an inevitable.
Oh shit.
What is that? It's horrible.
We are like the worst for inevitable because they enforce universal truths like death.
Okay, so do we think if we made something, let's say, if I were to summon some demons, then do you think that they would be enticed to go after those instead of us and perhaps buy us some time?
I'm not gonna lie, I think summoning demons is bad.
But if I
Just
summon
in
those
general.
demons and then made them run the other way, I can control them. if I were to have them, run in the complete opposite direction to us, and they are chaotic evil, for example, would that be more chaotic and more evil than us and distracted?
The inevitable is now 120 feet away.
Let's go.
Okay.
Can we just run?
Is there anywhere to run to?
You can run along all of these cogs. There is nothing on the horizon. You don't see any sort of structure anywhere, just all of these spinning cogs.
If you give me 11 minutes, I can put a dome around us that will keep us safe.
I don't think we have.
It's now 60 feet away.
Okay, I'm summoning a demon. I'm summoning demons.
Alright, we're rolling initiative.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Start casting, I guess.
Oh no. I've reconstructed, for the viewers in chat who haven't seen Alex's opera glasses.
Oh, lovely. You have a panic and summon demons. This can only go well.
Okay, if you would all be so kind as to roll initiative, please.
Do you want us to roll it on D&D?
If you could roll it on D&D Beyond, that would be helpful.
That's really good for me, because I rolled terribly.
And Howl, if you could, and if someone else could just roll if someone else could roll a d20, that would be helpful just for Sylvester.
No problem. I'll do that.
So roll your own and roll for Sylvester.
That is a 20 for Sylvester.
Okay, so
and
Sylvester,
an 8 for me.
and an
18 for me.
Yeah, that's fine. Just need Oriana and Howl to roll.
I already rolled mine.
Yeah, I
What did you get?
Well.
17.
And Howl.
8.
Okay. Alright. This thing is 60 feet away. Sylvester technically acts first, but it has got nothing to do. Génie?
I'm going to cast Bless on up to 3 creatures.
On
Second level or higher, you can target 1 additional. I'm going to cast it 3rd level,
Okay.
and that should cover all of us, if I understand that correctly.
Yep.
Cool. So you'll get a D4 on attack or saving throws.
Oriana?
We fighting this thing?
I don't want to.
We're distracting it and running, I think.
Okie dokie, let's run.
Start running?
Yeah, I'm running.
Okay. It will land by Howl and Alec. Will land and survey you both. Just turns its head, looks at you both,
No way we're surviving this.
and then reaches out with its arms and whacks you both like that, so cuts out. Both of you are hit by it. This is an automatic hit.
Oh no.
An automatic hit!
You both take 60 points of force damage, and you are knocked away and knocked prone.
I'm trying to think if there's anything I could do about that.
Then it's Howl's turn. Oops.
63 damage, did you say?
60 points of force damage. And you are knocked 5 feet away and knocked prone.
I see.
What have I done?
So it's half movement for me to get up, I assume?
Yep.
Yep. How quickly can I ask Silshard if they think that summoning a more chaotic creature in the opposite direction would work or not? Do they know anything about this?
Silshard looks at it and says, in the bond, yeah, so that thing is an inevitable. It's gonna chase us for the rest of time if we don't destroy it. I think demons might be a good idea just to distract it whilst we get the hell out of here.
Demons it is. Cool. Okay, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to use my next Mystic Arcanum. And I'm going to call forth a fiend first, we'll go with. So that's going to summon... I can choose it to be a demon, actually. Let's go with demon for thematic's sake.
Yep.
And so that summons it, I believe, at... It's challenge. Oh god, this is complicated.
What spell is it?
So it's the Mystic Arcanum Summon Fiend.
Summon Fiend.
Yeah.
Okay, Summon Fiend is a spell. So what level are you casting it at, or is it different?
Sixth level.
You're just casting it at 6th level.
Yeah, it's all I can do. I think it just says.
So you summon a
concentration.
fiendish spirit then.
Yes, Fiendish Spirit. That's the one.
Yeah. So you've got this. You've got the stats for that. Yeah.
Yep. So that is. I have the stats for it here. Yeah.
And you're summoning it as a demon. Okay.
As a demon, I'm going to, because I can command it. Do I command it as a? It's an ally to your companions. It shares my initiative, so yes, but it takes its turn immediately after mine.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to command it to distract this thing and then lead it away from us if it can.
Okay.
And then I am going to bolt in the other direction. It knocked me away from it, so I assume I'm out of its range, right?
Yeah, it knocks you. It knocks you 5 feet away from it. You don't know its range.
Right. Okay. Well, that's my action. Yeah. I'm gonna use my bonus action, in fact, now to cast Fast Step and teleport myself 60 feet in the way we're all running.
Okay, towards Oriana.
Yeah, that's the one.
All right, Alec.
That's me. Oh, sorry. The demon would move right after me.
Yeah, so the demon will run past the thing and bite at it and keep running so to try and distract it.
Cool.
Have I been knocked prone, or have I just been?
You've been
away
knocked
from-
prone.
Okay. I guess we're running. I've not really got any abilities that can help with that. So I guess I'll just sort of scramble to my feet using 15 feet of movement, and then use my action to dash, move 45 feet away from this creature.
Okay.
Does it look like the fiend has distracted it?
It has turned to face the fiend, yes. Sylvester is going to just dash to catch up with you all. Génie?
I'm also going to dash to catch up with us all, but I'm going to ready blindness.
Okay.
In case it turns back.
All right. Okay. You are all now together, and you are all running. The inevitable is indeed distracted by the demon, and it turns and pursues the demon.
Whew.
How long do you want to keep running?
Until we have somewhere to hide.
Yeah, we need somewhere to hide, or until Alec can get the hut up, I assume, because the hut would work, right?
But you have to be stationary for the hut.
Yeah, if we run 11 minutes away from it, and then as long as at no point it has turned around.
So,
but if we run 11 minutes, even if it turns around, we'll still have the time to get the hut up.
So, you keep running in one direction, hopping across all of these turning gears that are made out of various different metals, copper, silver, gold. You see a platinum cog that you reckon is probably worth more than Faerun. You keep running and keep running and keep running. How long do you want to run for before you stop running?
I can keep, and I'll say this out loud, I can keep control of that demon for about an hour, so if we run for as long as we can, and I can keep commanding the demon to distract this thing, that should be enough time to get the hut up and get going, I assume, right?
I mean, yeah, we could run for an hour, but I feel like that's a bit too... we might as well just run for 15 minutes.
I can keep the demon walking it the other way, ideally, as long as it is distracted, so as long as I keep kiting this thing around, then it shouldn't matter where we go, essentially.
By
as long
the
as that can keep
time
going the other way.
by the time you've run 10 minutes away, you can no longer see either the demon or the inevitable. It's too
Let's
far
get this
away.
hooked up.
Okay, I'm gonna. I don't even need to like collapse to my knees and start wheezing. I just start kneel down and immediately start casting Liamon's tiny hut as
Okay.
a ritual.
10 minutes pass, and you are now all inside a tiny hut.
Can I... Well, I'll say first, okay, does anybody else have anything else we need to do, or shall I start casting Dream of the Blue Veil, like, right now?
Do it.
Get the fuck out of here.
Cool, right, I'm gonna start casting Dream of the Blue Veil,
What
which is my lot.
Okay.
Sorry, go on.
What is the magic item that you are using?
Time anchors.
Time anchor sounds great. We can that'll take us straight to home,
Yeah.
right?
Around Genie's lamp.
Nope.
I believe technically I made them in Luskan.
That's fine. I'll take Luskan. Let's just get out of here.
But actually, once we're on the material plane, I can just cast teleport.
Yeah,
and
let's
take-
just get out of here before another one of those things
Does it
turns
does
up.
it consume the magic item?
I
Let's
don't
say
believe it does.
yes.
Let's use that my
So-
disguise
so
then.
it does
Why
say,
did you do that?
It says material, a magic item or willing creature from a destination world. So we could, in theory, use a willing creature. But if you're saying it consumes them, Dan, I'm going to say yes. Let's use a bloody hat.
No,
Alec-
if the spell
Looks like he's thinking.
if the spell doesn't consume, then the spell doesn't consume. It would be fantastic if it did, but I think you've lost enough already today.
I mean, again, Alec could just use himself, and then in 10 business days,
You sacrifice Alec for a
So,
taxi home.
You can cast Dream of the Blue Veil, and you can all settle down. I need each of you to make wisdom checks to see if you can fall asleep. Given
killing me here, Dan.
given everything that has happened, I need you to make wisdom checks.
Just flat wisdom.
Yeah.
16.
16 from Oriana,
11.
11 from Howl.
Given that Oriana is on exactly a third of her hit points,
Yep.
I don't think it'd be too hard.
Alec,
Or 14.
14 for Génie. What did Alec get?
15.
15, okay. It takes a while, but you are all able to fall asleep. When you open your eyes...
I would like to heal people.
Well, hang on.
Okay.
You've gone to sleep, so we need to wait.
Okay.
When you wake up, you all groggily open your eyes to find yourselves no longer on Mechanus.
Oh my goodness.
You look up and you can see in the distance the tower that is the Mages Guild thing in Luskan. You look around you. You are back on the prime material plane. You are in Luskan. It is cold. It is raining. But you are safe-ish.
For now.
And that is where we will finish for this week.
I've just realised that Silshard said it would follow us forever.
Well, we'll just never go back to Mechanus.
Oh yeah, like a CR-15 creature can't travel between planes.
Well, there we are.
I hate this game, Dan.
Does that count as a long rest?
Yes, technically it does.
Yeah, I think so,
Oh.
actually.
So you will all gain the full benefits of a long rest as well.
All I'm saying is, despite losing Gleipnir, I would say I'm pretty pleased with how I managed to get us out of that one. I'm quite pleased with myself.
May I just say that throwing yourselves off the balcony was not what I intended for you to do. At all.
What? I realised after I'd said what I did with my magic item that it was not what I intended to do. I intended to cast it upon her, not give it to her.
I was going to say, because if she was... Well, she's not an evil-aligned creature anyway. But yeah, I wondered why you were trying to bribe her after she's just described you as small and worthless.
Look, all I'm saying is, a younger version of, any of our party there, frankly, would have started a fight with the Queen of Cormyr and would have absolutely, we would have had a problem on our hands if that was our characters from 2 years ago. So
God, I'm hovering over Disintegrate for that entire time.
I was going to cast Phantasmal Killer and make her see her worst nightmares come to life. Because Howl was feeling a little, his pride was a little hurt, but that would have obviously started a war. I would say
all of the mage's reactions with a counter spell. Once Howl had cast his spell, I then go in with the next attack.
Look, I think we did quite well despite everything that happened there. That could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah, now we just need to track down the book before she does. Find Orbrin. Or ignore it completely. Just go do other plot threads.
If Orbrin all I'm saying is we need to go back to Laurel and be like, hey, I know you said don't start a war with Cormyr, but we should probably be like, hey, you should start a war with Cormyr or something. Some shit is going down.
Also, Alec is 100% intending to, if he gets a chance, plant the book of Asmodeus propaganda in Ranulph Ilvaster's house and give an anonymous tip that Ranulph Ilvaster is a devil worshipper.
That's so good.
That's a really cool idea.
I wrote it down in my inventory, and literally next to it in my notes, I've got plant at Ranulph Ilvaster's house.
Excellent. I look forward to that. That's a really cool idea.
I need a new weapon.
You do indeed. But
I need a new set of lungs.
I need to repair the Talisman of Pure Good.
I need to kill Raedra. I need to kill the Queen of Cormyr.
This is why our party doesn't go on dungeon crawls.
And I need to remind you all that you can find out more about our streams by going to @TheAglarion on Twitter, @TheAglarion on YouTube, and theaglarion.com, where you can find out everything you need to know about Génie's Lamp, about our upcoming streams, and to watch VODs of our past streams as well. Thank you everyone for watching. And thank you for playing. Thank you as always for playing my game. I do enjoy running for you four because I can mess with you and I really enjoy that. And
we do stupid things like jump off into a different plane.
But there we are.
All your friends jumped in the cliff, would you?
That question you can answer on a postcard, please, to Raedra Orbrisker. But in the meantime, we'll say goodnight. So have a fantastic 2 weeks. Be excellent to one another. We'll see you hopefully at 7 o'clock or slightly thereafter on the 4th of July. Goodbye.
Independence Day.
Bye.